Hello, ecology. Welcome back. This is Succession in Ecosystems. Make sure you are currently filling out your notes as you go. If you want to come back to this, that's fine. You can play this as many times as you need. The online note version that is on my website is just the PowerPoint, so you don't have to listen to me talk if you don't want to. Okay, so talking about succession, it is kind of like the succession of the throne. So it's a change in the throne. So in ecology, it's a series of changes in a new community that new populations of organisms are gradually replacing existing ones. Gradually is very, very important. This takes a long, long time. Whoops, let's go back. The first vocab word that I really want you to know is called colonization. So that's this word right here. So the colonization of new sites by communities of organisms, it takes place on bare rock. So if you think back to your history lessons, the colonization of the Americas, if we pretend the indigenous people weren't there because they colonized it a lot sooner than everybody else, when the Europeans came over, they colonized it. They thought they were the first ones. No one had ever discovered it before, they thought. So if you consider it like colonies of the Americas when we founded America, same kind of deal. Brand new rock, has never been touched before, supposedly. Um, and you've got these tiny little organisms. If you look at these pictures, you see how small this is. This whole picture is about the size of the palm of your hand. So these are really tiny organisms. Here, they're very sparsely distributed. Um, so there's not a lot going on, it looks like, but there's actually a lot more than meets the eye. So this new bare rock is going to come from two spots. Either the first one I want to talk about is volcanic lava. So you have this eruption. The best depiction of this is Hawaii. So you've got these lava flows, and they go all over the place. You can see this ground coverage. It looks really weird because this is actually cooled lava, but it's been cooled off long enough that it's got a lot of these plants growing in it. What's awesome about lava, though, is that it has a lot of nutrients, so it's a great fertilizer. So pretty much anything that attaches into this kind of soil is going to thrive and be very, very healthy. The second type of rock that is exposed comes from glaciers. We've got a lot of this going on right now with all of our global climate change. So if you look at this image, this is the same scientist or team of scientists. This says July of 2003 to August of 2018. So we're looking at about a 15-year span, and you can see how much rock has been uncovered from this glacier receding. This is due to global climate change with our Arctic getting warmer. So it's awful that all of this is melting, but what's interesting is that we're now having a bunch of this rock exposed, which allows for more plants to start colonizing these areas. So those plants that colonize that bare rock, they have a very special name, and you need to know it. They're called pioneer organisms or pioneer species. Either or is fine. They are the absolute first ones to come in. So lava usually is colonized by lichens because they need a little bit more moisture. So if you look at this image right here, so number one is pretty much right after the exposure. So you've got no cracks, you've got no way for any of these roots to take hold. But as these rocks start to decay, they go through the process of weathering, like we talked about last semester. There's a bunch of tiny little cracks in them. Wind, acid rain, all that stuff kind of causes this. And eventually, when these rocks break down, they create soil. So then you've got this substrate, even if it's a tiny little bit amount, or I'm sorry, a tiny amount, that's all these guys need. So you've got these cracks, and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and these microorganisms and very, very small plants and algae and